Okay, welcome. I'm running a safety on the web course, basically because the internet works on your ignorance. And it's not what you think it is. So, what we're going to do is, today, is to help you to be better informed and therefore wide awake using the World Wide Web. www. Whatever. Okay, that's the world we're going to inhabit. The web trades and deals on ignorance, as I've just said, right? It exploits your ignorance, and they don't even have the pleasure or the courtesy to ask you, can we do it? Therefore, the more you know, the more you'll feel safer on the web, in this modern world. Okay? So remember, www does not stand for World Wide Web, it stands for World's Wild West. So we'll have an introduction today, we'll do some housekeeping, we'll have a look at what to look out for when you download a website, I'll talk about credit cards, I'll talk about protecting your cards. I'll talk about dodgy emails and how you deal with them. I'll talk about what hackers and scammers don't like. I'll talk about Amazon, principally about Amazon, because this shocked me. And I'm going to talk to you about a virtual private network, a VPN. If you go away from this time and you've not got a VPN, you need to get one. We'll come on to that. So, my background. I spent 10 years working on the web. I built websites. I learned about the dark art of search engine optimization and all that sort of stuff. And I started to learn that what I thought with the internet, that it was a level playing field. It's basically, they publish everything. They have no comment on whether it's good, bad or ugly, but they don't. So, why the course? I'm walking with somebody and she told me gaily that she put her debit card on the web when she bought stuff. And down the back of my cold kind of shiver went down the back of down my back, because I thought, gosh, she's exposing the whole of her bank account on the web. So basically, this lady's didn't know what she was doing. In essence, she was just exposing herself and all her financial details to everybody out there. Okay? So, I've told you what WW means. It means the world's Wild West. Okay, what did they do in the Wild West? They shot first and asked questions later. You've got to be suspicious. Think about it. The internet is the first truly global marketplace without national borders. It's not like going down to the corner shop. And a lot of people make that mistake. So the world wars not for oil anymore, but for data. Data is what they ask for. Okay, so housekeeping. What are cookies? Cookies are this. I run a website, and when you go onto my website, you actually hooked up with cookies. And nowadays you have to say whether you have to agree whether you put a cookie on. But what it allowed me to do was track you through my website, which pages you visited, what you bought if you bought anything, yeah, and how long you were on it. And I did that through Google Analytics. So if you have a website, you host it on Google, this is what they do. Cookies do that. So you need to get a good virus checker. I use a company called Avast, but Norton, Microsoft, malware. You need a good virus checker. And don't be afraid about upping your suspicion thing on your emails, and it starts to delete good or put in spam box decent emails, because you can always fish them out your spam box. Okay, so there we are. On your mobile, download the app CCleaner or CCleaner, because it's a good mobile cleaner, deleting all your temporary files. Because when it's a throwback to the time we used to have dial-up with, so what happens, in fact, is every time you go on a website, your computer and your mobile remembers it. So over time, your mobile and your laptop and yours get slower and slower and slower. But if you don't delete your temporary files, you're asking it when you wake up to go to Mars every time. No wonder it's slow, because it's a long way. So, got any questions about that? Happy?
So, are you saying, George, that you would recommend people to use a credit card when they shop?
Yeah, we'll come on to that. We'll come on to that. Right. So, on your laptop or your computer, you have a Windows 10 has a search bar, comes in here. Type in the word delete and you get this box comes up, or delete cookies. And this box, basically you've got delete. And you delete, press delete and it deletes all your temporary stuff. Cookies, blah blah. And I do that once a week. I've actually got with my VPN, it does it automatically, but I'm just saying, if you don't have a VPN, that's the manual weekly thing you get. So delete your browsing history. Keeps your computer running sweetly. On your iPhone, if you've got one, you go to settings, tab down Safari, click down the page and you see in red will come up clear history and website data. Click that and it wipes all your temporary stuff off your mobile. Android is a bit more complicated. So you go into settings, your apps, tab to the bottom to storage. But it won't delete it all like Apple does it nicely, just the whole lot. You have to go in and delete it all. It's a bit of a fag, but it's worth doing. And that will make your mobile sing. Hopefully I've dealt with mobiles. They are a necessary evil these days. Right, when it comes to downloading a web page, I have this rule of thumb. This is how it sets out a web page. What to look for is https://www. That S refers to the fact that the guy spent a bit of time on his website making it secure. I got that by adhering to the law, which was I had a website that you could buy stuff off. And what happened was my customer came on, bought a chair, but when he actually paid his credit card, he wasn't on my website. He'd gone to a bank website. They did the card, checked it, made sure it had money on it, and then they sent me and him an email going, paid up. So then I sent him an email saying, we'll be putting it in the post or delivering it to you. But in essence, it's illegal for a website to keep your card or your credit card details. So why do Amazon do it all the time? We'll come on to that. Oh, another rule of thumb is this. Sorry, I've not got it up, but basically, if you want to I mean, Lorna got caught by this. If you got, let's say you buy a new laptop, which she did. We've got a new laptop, and you need to download the Microsoft Word stuff because you have to do that nowadays. For goodness sake, when you get to a website, it says download from the Microsoft website, not just fast downloads, goodness knows what. So you tab down, it's probably about 4th or 5th down. If you want to buy something, go to amazon.co.uk, not fast downloads or buyforme.amazon. Because that's how they con you. And in fact, the website that Lorna got on looked bona fide Microsoft, but when she downloaded the stuff, she downloaded a trapdoor software onto her computer. It was brand spanking new. So that next she gets an email saying, cough up. I will, unless you pay me money, I won't release you from your trapdoor. So fortunately, because it was brand new, there was nothing on it. So he took it down to Yorkshirenet, and the guy put a magnet to it and deleted the lot and put it, I mean, just got rid of everything. I mean, it is important that you download from the correct website. So I always have the rule of thumb, if it's got the name in the www.microsoft/downloads.com, that's it. Not fastdownloads.365 Word or whatever it says, .com. So it's got the name of the company in it, right? Credit cards. I didn't know this till I worked at Mark Finn, but in fact you have time, anything up to 6 weeks, if you make a payment on your credit card, to stop the payment, even if you've received a statement. And often you do that, you go down your credit card, so check your credit card. Ooh, I don't want to pay that. That's how you do it. So you got 6 weeks. I suggest you get in charge of your credit card's security department and give them your mobile and ask them to ring you if you've got anything suspicious out the ordinary. Because you can always say, oh, they just bought a car, that's all right. But I'm sure I got fleeced off Amazon. I couldn't work out how they got hold of my credit card. And my security guy phoned me up and said, where are you now? And I said, I'm in Skipton. Oh, well, you're not in Porto Banús then? The guy spent £7,000 off my card. Because over the years, I've had my credit card since I was 17, Barclaycard. They just up the credit. But I just said, I'm not in, so he stopped it. So, anyway. Then your credit card will take the hit for the fraud, but your bank will not. Okay? They've absolutely slaughtered what they call the back office in a bank. Go up the high street now and you get a few tellers. You've got nobody else in the bank. They ain't got the people anymore to phone you up and say, on your bank account, there's some suspicious activity, we've stopped your bank. They used to. I used to go abroad and they'd stop my bank because I'd bought something in a foreign country. I don't do anymore. So, whoops. I say this, never, ever, ever, never, ever, ever, ever use your debit card to buy on the web. I don't care how convenient it is, never. So I said, you're exposing your whole bank account to the scammers. If you're on a dodgy website, you give them the debit, and then the bank won't back you up. And there's lots of sorry stories out there that I'd saved my pension for 40 years and it's all gone. So, be wise. Use your credit card, because even if you buy from Amazon, they might not deliver. And you can phone up your credit card and say, I don't want to pay that. and it throws the onus back on Barclaycard to phone up the guys supplying the stuff from Amazon. Say, we're stopping the payment. So if there has been a thing to U3A that somebody emailed somebody about an Amazon present and it was a scam. Basically, they got hold of her email and they sent her things saying, please claim your present. And she went, ooh, nice, click. Scam. So, rule number 1. And rule number 2 is remember rule number 1. Okay, that. Right. There are applications on mobiles. All cards have that little symbol on it. Yeah? This little symbol. And what that means is when you tap it, it'll just read it, yeah? Okay?
When you go shopping.
Yeah. But you can take up to 100 quid a transaction off it.
Okay.
I'm saying that you need a purse or a wallet, little wallet that's got an RFID to shield your cards, because somebody may pass you in the street with the app and just fleece you if you've got 2 cards, 200 quid. Because you don't need a pin anymore. But your card is always open. If you don't want that, and I told it to my mother-in-law, and she said, right, phone up the bank, and they sent her cards, didn't have that, so she has to put a pin in every time. But this, on your card, which means a nice tap, 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 it can be read by somebody just passing you by. So you need an RFID wallet or credit card wallet. I mean, they're 2 or 3 quid. They're not expensive. And I bought that one from Rowan because I go walking and want it waterproof as well. Okay? Right. Dodgy emails. You get an email from somebody you know. I'll use my daughter-in-law, Ruth Scanlon. She's still got ruthscanlon@gmail.com, still the old. And I got an email from her. But it wasn't like what she normally sent me. So you even get an email from somebody you know. And so you get an email from somebody you don't know. I want you to use your head. Okay? So you get somebody who just emails you out the blue, and they clone your emails. You get an email from yourself. Hey George, click on this. I use Outlook, and what it does, it basically got my emails, and then to one side I can see what's on the email. I have not opened the link. If you click on the link, then you open it up. Delete it. Use your head. For goodness sake, it's the Wild West. If any doubt, and I'll come on to any doubt, delete it. It's common sense. Whoops. However, they're getting more and more clever, and they need to be clever to con you. Okay? But just use this rule of thumb. Use your head, and if I got an email from a friend, then it's not like, hey. And if you've got a virus checker or a VPN on your thing, if you click on a link, it asks you, is this from a safe person? So you get a check. Okay? Okay, what hackers and scammers don't like is using 2 or 3 levels of verification, especially your bank. Your bank is perfectly safe on your internet if you do it to your mobile. So you have your mobile. The only way they can get in is they've got to have your mobile. So on my bank, I have a PIN number, I have a password, and then I have the app on my phone, it clicks up, I have to verify it's me, so I've got 3 levels. But you need that now. You can't just have a password. So don't have the same password everywhere. How these guys work is that they literally have a machine, a computer, and it just goes through millions and millions of emails in a day, and gradually they'll get your email. They'll just work it out. I mean, they send out. But generally what they do is they scam your email. I've had this week. A lady's email was scammed, and everybody in her her email list got an email. And she thought, what happened there? So I'm going to have to change my email. And I said, no, what you do, so if somebody does that, just change your password. And then email everybody saying, I'm sorry about it, but... So, don't have the same password. And you have to have a password that you can remember. They can't. So, what I do, right, it's a funny, right? I've got 500 different passwords. They'll never get me, but then I can't remember any of them. So, you've got to have something that's usable. So I write them down in a book, and I take that book with me when I go abroad, because occasionally, like yesterday, Google asked to restart me up for my Gmail account, etc., and I had to remember the password. Whoa! Well, I didn't. I just go and what's my password for iTunes? What's my password for blah blah? You know. So I write it down in a place. Then if it's so. But I've got lots of different passwords, about 5 or 6. Then make sure your computer is updated, because it's the old classic is that you've got a website that's 100 units and we use maybe 10 of them. And somebody finds a patch. It basically finds in, let's say, unit 60 of this big website that you don't ever touch, has found a problem, and it allows nasty people in. So they send a patch and they upgrade the whole thing. A friend of mine had a Apple and it fell over, died. So he took it to the guy, and the guy said, "Do you update? You haven't updated it, have you?" Because he looked at the computer's files. He said, "No." Well, so what he did, he spent a day and a half doing all the updates he'd missed on Apple, and bingo, his laptop fired up. So make sure you stay up to date with the updates. They're there to protect you, because it's no good that companies get their websites hacked or whatever, especially Microsoft, if you use them. So be careful. Just careful about how much information you give on social media, like holidays, times away, because it's public. So if you say, I'm going on holiday, blah, blah, and they can trace where you live, then they come and visit you while you're on holiday. So just be careful about it. And actually, I've heard this in the past. Somebody did that and got their house totally cleared. And they put it on all kinds of social media, and the insurance said, tough mate. So be careful. So here's a current scam. I've had it in the last month. You've missed a delivery from DHL or the Royal Mail, and they sent you a text. Delete it. Oh, sorry. You might think it's a delivery from abroad. This is what got me. And they're extra charged to pay since Brexit. Just to confirm, they say you've got £1.50 to pay. What they're trying to do is a little amount to get your credit card. You need to know this. You'll never get a text from the Royal Mail asking for payment. What do? They send you a card saying and you go down the post office and then they'll tell you in person if there's a charge to pay. Oops. So, you'll never get an email from the Royal Mail asking to rearrange the delivery. Basically, that's what they do. You go down to the post office with a card. Cost of living crisis. You'll get an email about your TV license from government.co.uk or the DVLA and all these kind of people. Self-employed people paying in January, make sure you pay into the correct bank. So, ask your accountant to confirm the tax office bank details. I mean, because I do that, I must get an email from a DVLA person about once a month. Can we help you? You know, do your account, blah, blah. Huh. Right, another one. With COVID changing how we work more from home and less in the office. Getting us away from the office, which is absolutely Fort Knox as far as all the anti-spam stuff. The spammers are targeting us at home, where we're wide open because we've not got the appropriate safeties on the web. So the office had all the virus checkers and VPNs imaginable, but you still hear stories of certain companies that have hacker outrage. So like, I buy from EasyJet and getting the news that 3 million of their emails have been sold on the web, probably including mine. So, we need to now concentrate what you have at home. Yeah. There we go. Now you need to have a VPN on your machine. I think you need to have a VPN on your machine as essential. It hides your activity and your location, but I'll come on to that later. Okay? Whoops. Right, I want to talk to you about social media. 20 years ago, Facebook, WhatsApp, YouTube, TikTok, all that lot didn't exist. And we've had a rise of what we call social media. So we all fell in love with social media's connectivity, connecting friends, all that kind of stuff, and forgot to read the small print. This new resource of social media is where the world fights over data, not oil. Your data is what they take, and they don't ask you for it. So, Meta or Facebook's product is you. You are it. You leak information to Facebook. Every time you use Facebook, I heard a story. It was in America, is that the press were interested in how Trump won in 2016. And so this BBC reporter went to the offices of social media because they'd obviously won the election, he thought, on social media. And he met, it was an open office, it was an empty office, and the boss was there, and they had a nice chat, and this guy was really non-committal, the American chap. And then he said to this guy, "Are you on Facebook?" And he said, "Yeah." "What's your name again?" Typed his name in, And he came back to the guy after he went in the back pages of Facebook. He said, you're married, you have a mortgage, you have 2.2 kids, you live in London, you drive a car, you do this on holiday, you do this, you buy that, you do that. And the guy just was open-mouthed. How on earth? He went bleep, and they had to bleep it on the, he went bleep, 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 in whatever it was. How on earth did you know that? Facebook. Information. We leak it. In January, the Irish Information Regulator for breaching European Union data privacy laws, so this is part of the EU, ordered Facebook to change the way it collects user information. In the past 18 months, Facebook has paid 1.2 billion euros in fines because they automatically sign you up to receiving adverts both on Facebook and Instagram. You don't have a choice. You should. Same is what's going to happen with Google. Google can get fined. But you see, they need to make that a 12 billion or a 50 billion to really hurt these companies. But you see what even the data protection laws to protect you, they're breaking, and they're getting fined for it. So my happy days with Facebook died in 2016 when I refused to adhere to their next set of booking conditions or whatever it was. And so they said, do you agree? I said, no. So they sent me another thing saying, can we email it to you? I.e., what don't you understand about what we're sending? And I said, no. And then the next one, leave please. Because I wasn't prepared to give the copyright of the photographs to Facebook. And there was a celebrated case where a guy's daughter committed suicide, and he was sure she'd been on doom gloom stuff on Facebook, and he went to court. And Facebook stood in the dock and said, the copyright's ours, pal. And the case fell apart because they wouldn't release anything, and it's ours. So when you put stuff on Facebook, if you sign something, you've given it to them. And the way they find out about this guy's who he knew nothing of in America he found out all this stuff, but his likes, comments, and what he looked at on Facebook. Right. When I was working in marketing, I used to say this, because I worked on the fact that Lord Leverhulme said, I waste half my advertising, the trouble is I don't know which half. So I have a specific product called left-handed scissors, and I want to market to left-handed Irishmen. So I've got a specific market and I've got a specific product. I would have to advertise in the old times in all the newspapers in Ireland and waste half my advertising. I just get to Facebook and ask them for all the left-handed people in Ireland. And then I'd email them all, write to them from Facebook, my product, left-handed scissors. It's a marketing's dream. The reason these guys are so rich is they've reinvented the marketing wheel. Whoa. Let's get on to Amazon. Whoa, nasty place. No, I don't mean to frighten you, but it's information is key, okay? I buy from Amazon, but I just know what they do. So, the question of whether or not is giving up a hefty amount of data is worth it in exchange for the convenience is a complicated one with Amazon. I'm old enough to remember when Amazon was a cheaper way to get your college textbooks. Prime was a nice thing of beef. And same-day shipping was a pipe dream. And I'd never heard of Jeff Bezos' name. It was a simpler time, right? These days, it would appear that Amazon has a finger in every pie, including most recently space. The direct-to-consumer model that the company tested with books has expanded to include, well, basically anything you could think of. And as people, we've tried to limit their exposure to, and as people have tried to limit their exposure to other people, including COVID-19 pandemic, Amazon's only got richer and richer. So we couldn't go to the shops, so we used Amazon. And to be fair, it was a vital service. It was, yeah. But know this. As their leader, Jeff Bezos, the entire empire, including the rocket Bezos just rode into space, was built on data. Your data, my data, your family's data, your neighbour's data, everybody's data. Amazon has become one of the powerful companies in the world by sucking up and utilising data in every way they can. These are some of the companies they have. I have a Kindle Fire, Fire Stick. I don't have that. I've got Amazon Prime. I don't do any of the cloud stuff. But I do Amazon Prime, books, cash. No, I don't do cash. All kinds of stuff. They've got the fingers in everywhere. Come on. That's right. So it's a lot. What does Amazon know about you and me? I use Amazon Marketplace, Amazon Prime, Amazon Fire Stick, and have a Kindle. In fact, I go so far as to say that my Amazon order history is more revealing than anything about me than even my Facebook, Google, Instagram history. If only because I do more on Amazon rather than Facebook or Instagram. For example, Amazon definitely know I have a Fire Stick. I recently upgraded mine to a 4G machine. It's nice and quick, yeah. So Amazon comes with Prime, which I'm subscribed to, great delivery times. It means the company knows what kinds of TV I like to watch, when I watch it, and what doesn't interest me. Kindle for sure knows me. I use it particularly on long traveling journeys. They like to serve up self-help books and novels as suggestion. They know what I read and what I read. So, Amazon, use it wisely. You can get onto your Amazon account and delete stuff. I've yet to really get to the bottom of that, but the amount of stuff they carry is just enormous. And they're selling it to people like me for the left-handed Irishman scissors, because I had to generate in a business £1.5 million worth of new business, and when I did it in the cottage industry, I'd spend £400,000 to £500,000 to £600,000 in advertising and brochures and stuff. When I did it with Mark Finns through Google, I spent £30,000, just £30,000. Generate £1.5 million worth of new business. I borrowed people's data. Much more pinpointed my marketing. So, Google. Google's like sugar, alcohol, and anything else we indulge, even we know it's not good for us. While it's true that most of their products and services are of great quality, easy to use and free, you need to know about their dubious privacy policies, bullying business tactics, and voracious desire to control all your data. Start to look around different search engines rather than Google. And then you're free of prying eyes, and often better too. A good one I use is Brave, brave.com. Another one is duckduckgo.com, but they use much more of Google's stuff, so they're less, but Brave I found very good, and it's an application in your application store. Or I've got it now on my computer, brave.com. And if you get on that and type in, what am I looking at? Land registry stuff. When I use Google, what happens is as I type it in, it gives me 3 or 4 suggestions of where I'm going to go. I mean, it fills in the lines. That's called their predictive feature. But that's what's telling you what they already know about you and what you've looked at. So you get on Brave and you do the same and nothing comes up. So the predictive text is nice and easy to use, but what it's telling you is what Google know about you. So it might, hopefully, change the way you think. So what Google needs to do is, what you need to do with Google is get on myaccount.google.com. What that will take you to is your page on Google, and you'll have your picture you have on Google and all your accounts, and you'll be able there to put down, right, and all your stuff that you like. So get rid of all the history stuff that they take, and it's like we did right at the start with our mobiles, but you need to do this probably once a month with Google, if you use Google extensively. And the reason I say it's important is because they never, ever, ever ask you, can I have it? So Facebook, you are the product. They're unashamedly exploit everything that you have for their advantage. And these guys are billionaires. I mean, they make a lot of money. So there you will find how much data Google keep on you. So you set your own security levels, delete data and your data storage. Get rid of pictures. If you've got pictures of kids, the web is rife with pedophilia. Do not put kids' pictures on a lot of stuff. And these people, Google, do it anyway. Terrible people. And they're faceless. You can't speak to somebody. Huh. Hello? Right. Right. Extra notes. Don't share your financial information, credit cards, pension details by email or social media or text. Call them. Call the people if somebody wants your bank details. You see, by law, a website cannot keep your credit card numbers on it, and Amazon do it every day. If you get a dubious call, which sounds convincing, and they do want to convince you, if you have any doubt with the call, like a bank calling to confirm your bank details or update their records, no bank would do this. Even if you're not 100% sure, ask for their number and website. They say, and then say, I'll call you back. Check the information, make sure their website carries the same number, check their name, call them back, otherwise don't. Because it may be that you just won the pools. You don't want to throw that away. But that's the way you do it, you check it. It's always better to be safe and embarrassed or an embarrassment than be sorry and duped. So delete genuine emails if you've got any doubt, and if they're a friend, call them up. Say, did you email me? I'm just didn't look right. And if they say yes or no, it's the Wild West. So you shoot first, ask questions later. So delete first Ask questions later. So, I want to introduce to a virtual private network. It allows you to browse with greater security, privacy and anonymity. You become private to all these spying eyes. I changed my location to Colombia and got on a website, and it said we don't accept people from Colombia. So you can change your location around the world in a VPN. So it helps you to anonymize everything you do, protects you online, keeps your information from third parties, and it allows you to beat censorship by unblocking websites. So in essence, if you the conservative voice has been somewhat censored, but VPN will allow you to get places that you can open it up. And it hides your IP address. Now your IP, everybody has an IP address. And as a marketeer, back to cookies, I used to know your IP address, so I knew your general location where you came from. So I could say in the north of England, middle of England, southern England, that's where my people were coming from, where my customers. But if you got your VPN, we didn't have them in those days, I couldn't do that. So I consider it essential in this day and age to have your own VPN. Costs about 45 quid a year. I'm sure you can get better, but look, hunt about, okay? A VPN can protect all your devices, including your desktop, laptop, tablet, smartphones from prying eyes. Your devices can be prime targets of cyber criminals when you access the internet, especially if you're on a public Wi-Fi network. In short, a VPN protects your data you send and receive on your devices, so hackers can't watch your every move. So when you get an email saying, we've caught you, you got a VPN, they're lying. I did that, I got that. We've cracked your password. But I got a VPN, so they were wanting me to email them back. Yeah. So a VPN is virtually essential these days with all the data stuff. So when you get on Amazon with a VPN, it gets a bit lumpy. I've been on several websites where they don't really want to deal with me because they can't get my information. But I'd rather that than literally walking around as we are with our coats open saying, steal from me. So here's some. I just put into Google one of the best ones, and they're better. So you can try these applications for 30 days. ExpressVPN comes out on the top of all this. It's one of the better ones. But then the private internet access is good for if you've got a small number of people but you want to keep it nice and private. CyberGhost I've come across, quite good company. Private VPN. But whatever I've actually got Avast, because I've used Avast to protect my emails. And I've got their clean. Basically, I use Avast Cleaner, pay about 20 quid a year for, and that really scrubs my computers. And it's on my mobile, and I clean my mobile using that. But anyway, a VPN. Have a look, see, and try them. So, don't be fooled by fake Wi-Fi or hotspots galore. Some are legit, others are dodgy. For example, if you go into a cafe and the cafe offers free Wi-Fi, I suggest you go and ask the staff what the Wi-Fi and passcode is before you log on. Because there was a celebrated thing in a newspaper where this guy knew what he was doing, put a thing in the window of a cafe and stood outside, and as everybody logged on, he got everything off their mobiles. And he was a reporter, so he went back into the shop and said, I've got everything here, and showed people, and they were genuinely shocked and terrified. Okay, so do that. I do it without thinking now. I walk in and it says free Wi-Fi and it's got it on the board. I ask the guy, is that the correct Wi-Fi details? But if you've got a VPN and you get on a public Wi-Fi thing, you're much more protected. You see it building up your protections, but that's just housekeeping stuff. So just don't trust it. You don't know them from Adam. Even this guy's, it doesn't publish it. You have to ask for the church's Wi-Fi. Well, that's good policy, you see. So if it was, I could come in here and same typeface and stuff, and you wouldn't notice it because I hide it in plain sight. So, even Her Majesty's, that's HMRC, have been cloned. So, top companies get hacked, and they call you, and you know them, but you just got to picture it. It's the Wild West out there. And what's happened with criminals is this: to rob a bank was high risk, low reward. To rob somebody by skimming all their savings is high reward, low risk. How many scammers have they put in jail? And it's generally, they find them in India. I mean, poor countries, they just, or poorer, developing countries, that's it, developing countries. So, be suspicious and aware what the internet has become. So, get a VPN now. You haven't got it. Right, it's the World Wide Web. There are billions of websites out there. The dark web is about 80% of the web out there, and the reason it's called dark is not because it's evil per se, is that the guys, it's part of the web that Google hasn't indexed. So you can get if you know somebody's particular website and you type it all in, so you don't use the search engines to do it, you could well go on what's called the dark web, because it's just what Google doesn't index. It's dark as far as they're concerned because they don't know about it, but it's where the criminal and nasty people live. Just don't go there deliberately. It's a Wild West. So, the reason you don't is because websites are hosted in different countries that have different laws and will be operated by those laws. Do you know where Amazon live? Do you know where they live? They live in Luxembourg. Luxembourg has 6% business tax. We have business tax in this country of 18, if not 25%. So they hand on heart tell you, we pay all our taxes. They do, but they live, and then the laws of that country are what they work to. My daughter bought me a ski jacket, and I got on a website, and it was .co.uk, and in fact it turned out to be hosted by Chinese people, all right? So when I bought a large jacket, it was small because I'm bigger than the Chinese people, all right? So when it arrived, it was wrong size. But then this was for £90, this stuff. Well, it cost me 30 quid to get it over here, etc., etc. But I'm just saying, the laws that they had in China, you can't do that. You can't have a .co.uk and be in a Chinese. But in China, this is a different country. The laws are different. So that's back to the global. It's the first global international market. Amazon could probably say that it's where they live, and all these websites live, it's perfectly legal for what they do. So you hear the government say, we'll get all those social media, they're getting millions and billions of pounds out of here. You know what Amazon does? all its costs right around the world gets pushed into Britain. They make diddly squat. They just shift costs around the world. So as far as the British, we pay no taxes because They can do that. I mean, that's a legit business thing. But the laws concerning the website you're on could be very different from what you experience. So thank you. There we go. So, thank you for listening. So I'm not claiming it's a full picture, but I hope the information I've given you makes you more confident about approaching the web.
What about PayPal? Do you know?
PayPal, I'm told, PayPal is one of the more secure payment things. So if you have a PayPal account, yes, I'm told it's really quite secure.
I don't have a credit card, but I do use PayPal.
Yeah, well, there you go, yeah. So you're in a happy world where you don't have credit cards, yeah. Yeah,
Apart from PayPal.
yeah. Yeah, I've heard it. I mean, I know a guy who used it for the Craven U3A here and says it's safe. Yeah, yeah. Well, they say that, yeah. It don't get much data, and they're basically a buy-sell thing rather than... what's happened with Amazon, Facebook, and Google is they've got so big, they've started to influence the world with their political views, etc. You know, it's and they never asked me for it.
I stopped using them because they're always trying to trick me into using Prime.
But it's Prime, yeah, deliveries and that kind of stuff, and trick you into, this is other people bought this. You know, on Amazon, yeah. Other people bought this, or no. They've got the information they've got, and if you've been buying, I don't know, used to buy GoPro stuff. They always put a new GoPro thing at the bottom because they worked out my buying history, pumped it up, saying other people who looked at this looked at that. No, it's not. It's that your history tells us that you're interested in that kind of product. So. Providing you know all that's going on, then it's happy hunting. But a VPN I've found a VPN means that I can use my mobile as we used to be able to, which you can use in hotspots or whatever. And I'm anonymous. So I went to Alpe d'Huez, we didn't have Wi-Fi, used the hotspot that I had on my mobile for my grandson's internet. Worked perfectly. So.
I use it just at home on my computer. I don't use my mobile for doing business.
No.
So you think a VPN is still important?
Well, on your computer, because I think what's happening is that scammers are targeting home rather than the office, because the office is basically beaten them by their security stuff. But with the transfer of people to work more at home, so they're now attacking, and they're particularly attacking you because they know you've just retired, so you're cashed up. That kind of stuff. And how did they know that? Well, we found out from Amazon. Amazon said somebody got in touch with their database. All the guys in Skipton who retired recently, so it'll all be there.
I do have one with Bitdefender, and it gives you so many
Yeah.
gigabytes. It only lasts about 20 minutes.
Well, I'm saying I've had a VPN about a year, and I've felt much more secure on stuff. And I do say that it does have this kind of problem, which I get on certain websites, and they say I can't. Because, where is my mobile? I could get on my mobile and change on my VPN where I live. I live in UK Wonderland at the moment. What is that? But it's the best one for streaming, so it's the best one to keep me as operational as I can. But today I could be in the Americas, I could be in South America, well, I could be in South America, South Africa, Australia, New Zealand. You just move, because that's you're just getting these guys off your tail. And ask any questions, Michael?
I don't think so, Joe. That's brilliant. Very interesting.
So as I say, it's just what I've discovered and what I will get you much safer on the web. So on your Amazon account, if you've got one, get your card off it,
Yeah.
delete it. It's a bit of a fag to actually type it in every time, but you won't get skimmed. Or put on your credit card on Amazon or any of your, which only got maybe 200 or 300, 500 quid on it. So you can't get really fleeced and things like that. But I say it's important with credit cards, I think, to have, you've got your security number. I'll give you an example, recent. I'm trying to get back start again. We call them the outlaws. These are the people who are the parents of our kids' spouses. Yeah? So, the Nelligans in November, and they bought it in February, bought tickets with Lufthansa to get to fly out to Brisbane because see Lois and co out there. And they got to Heathrow, and the ticket people said, you've cancelled the ticket. Eh? Cut a long story short, they went home for 2 weeks, went 2 weeks later and redid it all. Coming back, they got to Brisbane Airport and went, we've given you money back for these tickets. They'd cancelled the tickets again. So another week later, anyway. So, to avoid that, I thought I wanted to go direct to the airline. So Qatar Airways, yeah. I got on Qatar Airways and I went, everything, you book all the tickets and all that kind of stuff and ding, 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 and you put your credit card in and you press the button, buy it, and the website fell over. So I get back, I mean, it just stopped, froze. So I got back on the got it back on the website and I had a chat thing, so I just said, I've just booked a flight and that sort of, have you got the details? And the guy said, we got no details of you. I get a call from my credit card saying, somebody's just taken $3,500 off your account. So I say, stop it. Gets worse. So I don't bother. I put into Google Qatar's phone number because I want to ring them up. So I get through to Qatar's Airways, and it's not Qatar's Airways. It's a ticket place because they start selling me stuff in Emirates. I want to do Qatar. So I do a transaction with them, and then they say to me weirdly, can you pay the flight and then pay the tax separate? My card paid that, the ticket, but not the extra, because that's how scammers work. And I got a call from the security people saying, somebody's scamming your card. It was me, trying to do this. So I said to him, I can't do the transaction. My credit card's stopping me. And my security people said, we better cancel the card, because he's got your credit card, just that, you know. So I'm just trying to buy from people, and they're ripping me off. But you can't. That guy who in Qatar, wherever he was, Qatar Airways, probably in Dubai, we take that as a bribe. Thank you very much. It is the Wild West out there. Okay.